I've been riding with these Lone Rider MotoPanniers now for 3,000 kilometers. I'm in the middle of Sardinia, in the middle of my tour, and these are my first impressions of riding with these bags. What's up, my biker friend? Welcome back to another video. I'm in the middle of Sardinia right now, and I have the first 3,000 kilometers on my brand new 1300 GS with the Lone Rider MotoPanniers. If you follow the channel for a little bit, you know that I'm not a huge fan of hard luggage. I have never been, and all the luggage that I've sort of tested on this channel were some variation of soft luggage. And the reason at the time was to find something that works equally well on road as it works off-road. Now this year things have changed quite a bit. I'm spending a lot more time on road. 11 out of the 12 tours that I'm doing this year are on pavement, and I'm spending about half a year on the motorcycle and off the motorcycle in hotels. So things have changed a little bit from what I demand of motorcycle luggage systems. And the first thing that bugged me last year in the setup that I had is that with the stuff that I usually bring, and that's a bit more than most people bring. Now, it's not so much the clothes that I wear. I've done a video on how to pack smart and what to bring, so I've got that down quite well now to sort of pack light, but I bring additional camera equipment and computer equipment because I still need to work between the tours. So I have tools that I bring, additional tools that I bring now also for the guided tour, so a bit more of an extensive tool set. So if there are people showing up with different bikes, we have options in case something goes wrong. So with all that and the soft luggage, that meant I would have to walk twice to the hotel room because I couldn't carry all the stuff in one go, and I would have to walk twice to get it packed down to the bike. The other thing is that if we are touring together and we want to do a little bit of sightseeing, we don't usually go away for too long from the bike. But with my camera equipment, my computer stuff on it, there wasn't really a good way to lock that stuff on the bike. And this is the reason why I took another and a good look at hard panniers, because these are the things that these hard panniers really excel at. They're easy to load, especially the top loaders here. Now I've used side loaders on the rental bikes. The shard system that's used there is sort of opens from the side, and now that provides a bit more convenience, but the most convenient way obviously is a top loader. And you can lock the bags, and they're definitely more secure. Now you can get into any bike if you want to, but it's these occasional thieves just grabbing stuff off your bike that it protects you from. Now there's an obvious disadvantage when it comes to hard luggage, and that is the additional weight that you have to bring, and the bulk in some cases as well. So one of these bags weighs more than 9 kilograms, and you have the luggage rack, that's another 5 kilograms in itself. So when it comes to that, you have a weight penalty in order to get the convenience of being sort of able to load it easier and that you can lock it. Now the MotoPanniers are Lone Rider's sort of latest addition to their pretty extensive range now of luggage options. They first came out with the semi-rigid bags. For those that don't know Lone Rider yet, but that was their signature product. They actually came out with a solution that provided a similar convenience of a hard pannier, but the same sort of safety that soft panniers give you when you ride off-road, which means that if you get sort of caught under the bike or between your panniers and the ground, that you don't have a hard shell and there's less sort of chances of injury. And from that point on, they added the ADV bags, which I also have and used last year in off-road tours, that are sort of a saddleback rackless solution, quite nice. Similar capacity, by the way, than these two boxes, at least on paper. You get a little less into the box than you get in the ADV bags, but similar capacity, about 70 liters. I don't have a top box, as you can see, so it's just the side panniers. And now they add these boxes to it. Now, of course, with all the products that Lone Rider puts out, they try to put something new to the market, because they're not the first ones to provide hard boxes. And there's a few features in there that I really like and really appreciate, especially as these sort of hard panniers have to do not just fit my luggage, but they also are replacing the tank bag. It's the first season I'm trying to work without a tank bag, and the only reason I even thought about that is because of some of the features that the Lone Rider bags have. So I'm going to show you that and show you what I like about it and how I configure it, because now I have the configuration dialed in for this and the next 3 tours at least. So as you can see, this is my current setup that I have on my 1300 GS. So I didn't want the top case on it because I was trying to limit myself to just the side panniers, and I'm not a huge fan of top cases yet. We'll see if this happens one of these days. Now anyway, the way you get in, you open up the latch. Obviously you can lock that. There's a lock in here. I don't have it locked at the moment, but this is the thing we can lock. It's pretty solidly made. And open lid up, that in itself is new. But what they have provided here as part of the standard fit out is having sort of an organizer section. So this is what replaces my tank bag. I've got a few things in here. I've got sort of roll of electrical tape. I've got a knife in here, a key set, another lock that I have in here that combined with this little cable that I put in, I can sort of lock my helmet to the bike if I don't want to bring the helmet. Haven't used it yet, it's just there for it. And I've got these sort of bags that I'm at the moment using. I've got the navigation system in here because just keep it this way, but this is my snack box. And then this is where my sunglasses and a few stickers live. So it's pretty cool. You can configure this. I have it only on this side. That's enough. I don't have it on the other side, but I'll show it why. And then you have the interior. At the moment, it just has the gloves in there. But having that sort of liner in there makes it really easy to put the inner bags, the inner liners in it, which come with the bag, which is kind of great. And I think the capacity is 37 liter on this side and 34 on the other side. I think you lose a little bit of capacity with the inner liner and maybe this as well. So it's not quite giving me the 70 liters. And that was a bit of a problem that I had because I couldn't get all my stuff in there. And then there's another feature that made that possible. I have had these, I'm going to turn this light off. It comes with the setup as well. And as you can see, the top and the front and the rear panels have these MOLLE panels on there. And the whole point is that you can accessorize it very similar to the semi-rigid bag, which I did as well. I had these mini bags. I had 3 of them actually on my semi-rigid. I'm using 2 now, 2 mini bags at the rear, and they're pretty dirty now, of course, from sort of riding parts of it in the rain. But this allowed me to actually take some of the volume that I had intended for the panniers itself and put them in here that are sort of less of an issue if they would get stolen. So what I have in here is, I'm going to show you, in my little mini bag, in the MOLLE panel. So I've got sort of an additional, this is like a spider net. If I need to transport something, I just have it in the plastic bag. And then I have additional rock straps in here. You know, if I have sort of a larger bag, it's just always good to have that. I've got my first aid kit in here. Pretty quick access if you needed to. And then I have a high-vis vest, some tissue, and another sort of scarfy thing. That's basically it. So this is not high value stuff. You know, if someone would take it, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's quite a bit of volume, as you can see, and it just takes that out of the bag. I've got some tape that I had initially in the bigger bag, and then the last 2 things is just like having additional straps if I need them. So, and this bag isn't even full because it usually holds my gloves as well. I have rain riding gloves that also go in here. At the moment they're in this bag. This holds additional bottle of water and some snacks, and it's not even full, so I have additional capacity here. And I think that's one of the key issues about these panniers, that it's so easy to just kind of add things to it. I have some rubber straps in here. The way I use these at the moment is when I'm in the gas station or if I'm parking the bike. I can actually show that because I use it for the gloves. So if I have my gloves in here, I just kind of want to make sure they're sort of in that rubber, because a lot of times it's windy and your gloves can blow off, and this, you know, these are old, no one's going to take these gloves, so I can leave them like that on the bike. But I usually do that. It would also fit my cappy on there. I'll try that. So if I don't want to put it in the bag, you can just like kind of slide it in. Because it's a bit hard to do with one hand. So, you know, you can put a cappy in here, and then if you wanted to secure it a little bit, you just kind of weave that through, and this way Cappy has a place to live. At the moment it sits in the pannier. I have enough space in there, but this is great. So you can customize it. And then the last customization I've done is the bottle holder, also something I've already had for my semi-rigid bags. This just holds half a liter of water. I think it fits a slightly larger bottle. This isn't the largest thing that fits in there. There's a reason why I have it on this side, because I usually get onto the bike from the other side, and so just having a bit more room on the side where I mount on the bike, that works better. Now this side of the pannier, it does not have the organizer in it, because I'm using the bottom of it for my tools, and I think I showed it in the initial video that I have a tool roll, I have a tire inflator, battery pack, puncture kit, additional fuel bladder. So little tools that I have in here that stay on the bike, so I don't have to take it inside the hotel room, and I can just like leave it, close it, and even lock it if I need to, and I don't have to worry about it that someone is taking the tools, because the tools are quite expensive. Now something I also showed in the initial video is the size of it. So if you see the bike, they look pretty big on the picture, but when you look at it on real life, they're actually quite a bit smaller than you would think, and this setup doesn't actually show it quite well. So if you look at the width of the handlebars and the actual panniers, they just stay right inside the width of the handlebar. Now this still distorts from this perspective, but in real life they just fit inside the width of the handlebars, which is great. And I think they designed it in a way that they're not coming out too far. If you look at most other panniers that you can get for the GS model, including the original one, or there's different, actually there's two different ones, but they come out quite a bit further here, so they have a lot more bulk to it. With this, it at least stays within the handlebars. The other bags probably have more capacity, but this is actually a really good fit, a balanced fit to the bike. I know Lone Rider talks about the waterproofness of the bags. Obviously they're waterproof. They have a seal inside. They're top loaders. They tend to be a lot more waterproof because the seams are on the sides, and it's a bit harder for water to get in. So I've had a few rain rides with this already. They're brand new. They have never been dropped on the side, so they are definitely waterproof. The inner liners are also waterproof-ish, water resistant, so if there's like some small water coming in, it won't get your stuff wet, so that's quite good if you use the inner bags, which I do. So I think that goes without saying. I think that's kind of similar to other bags as well. Now especially the setup with the GS, the 1300 GS and the Lone Rider bags does away with one of the major sort of downsides that I thought hard panniers would have, and that's the additional weight, sort of the weight penalty, especially when you ride on road. Additional weight isn't so much of an issue as it is, let's say, riding off-road. If your bike tips over and you have to lift it up, that additional weight is something you definitely feel. On road, it's less of an issue, and especially on this particular bike, because I tried 3 different configurations. The first one was, of course, fully loaded. So we're fully loaded with the bikes, have all our luggage, and that's usually when we transition from one base hotel to the next base hotel. The way we have it set up here is we have base hotels, and in the base hotels we can take the panniers off and then ride a few days without luggage, and then we transfer to the next base hotel. We have to bring everything again, but it allows us to ride without luggage for most of the time. So I used the opportunity for the first day to just take the inner bags out and just have the panniers and the mini bags with me. So I had my tools, I had space for my drone. It's also great because we stopped in Alghero, which is in the west end of Sardinia. And so we left the bike, so I could actually take my motorcycle jacket and my airbag vest and just leave it on the bike in the empty panniers, and I didn't have to bring it, which is great. The other guys had to bring all their stuff, and it was the first time I didn't have to bring all my stuff. It was awesome. I could have even locked my helmet to the bike. I showed you that lock before. I didn't do that. I actually brought my helmet because it was just easier in that moment. But these are the benefits that I'm sure people that have used panniers and hard panniers for years know already. That for me, that's quite new, and that's something I really appreciated. And then I had a setup where I took the panniers off completely, and I had the bike sort of empty. It was just the luggage rack that was remaining. And the amazing thing is the GS handles additional weight so well probably because of the low center of gravity, probably because these panniers, when they add the weight sits relatively low on the bike, that you don't feel it as much considering how much more weight you add to the bike, that I'm very surprised at how little weight penalty that actually is when you ride the bike and how it feels like. So I think that's a big plus, and I'm actually quite excited because I'm still in the middle of testing it out. I will test it against the ADV bags and all that, so it's not a final verdict, but at the moment I really like the convenience that you have, the ability to lock the stuff on the bike, getting rid of a tank bag and having it all sort of in these two panniers. And still the handling is great, and the bike, yes, it's a little wider, but I can still go through traffic quite well. So at the moment I'm relatively surprised. I didn't think I would like these bags so much. Anyway, this is just the initial impression. I'll do one when I have a bit more kilometers on it, a bit more tours, but at the moment that's it's pretty good. I like him. Anyway guys, if you got questions, comments, put them in the comments section. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ride safe, stay awesome.